Okay, we're back. After too long. So long. A minute.
I barely remember what we did last time. Honestly, the more memorable part is what happened after we stopped recording.
Yes, we started watching the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And
honestly, so far pretty funny.
Yeah, and the first thing, like 5 minutes in, Steven looked at me and he was like, "This is the greatest movie ever." No, okay, he did not say that. He was like, "There's something uncanny about the way this is shot."
And funnily enough, after I brought it up, Logan looked at the movie and he realized, "Oh shit, he's right. What the fuck?
Yeah,
something's off with this."
I mean, he said like no depth of field or something.
No, it's just like everything just felt off when it came to the recording.
Mm.
I can't explain about seeing it in my face, like the actual.
Yeah.
But like, go watch it and tell me if I'm fucking wrong. Something feels off when I'm watching it. Maybe it's just the fucking Blu-ray or something.
We're watching a digital copy on my Xbox. Microsoft Movies and TV. Speaking of which, I've decided I'm gonna start saving up for an Xbox Series X. And I'll be getting that within the next couple months.
What do you have right now?
An S. X has a disc drive.
So basically, you want to be able to play Xbox 360 games
that I don't own digitally. Like Left 4 Dead 2 is one of them. What else do I have here? XCOM 1. Older CODs, because those are stupid.
Okay, to be fair, structurally they're still better than that fucking messed up that was from last year.
I know. And, yeah, Persona 4 Arena, which is backwards compatible, but not Ultimate for some reason. That's stupid.
Let me just drink some water.
Sonic Generations. Skate 2. I have not Kinect Star Wars, thank God.
Why the fuck do you have the Sims 3 pets?
I bought it from a dying GameStop.
Fair enough.
And the disc does not work. I tried.
By the way, how do you feel about the fact that Scott the Woz gave away all his games?
I think he got them all back. I think that was a bit.
Yeah, that was definitely a bit, but like... Don't know if he actually did, because I swear I remember watching the next video over and still had like none.
He did, and by the end he gets them all back.
Maybe I missed a video. Man, there are actually a bunch of videos that I basically put on the back burner thanks to a bunch of shit that came out these last few months that basically had me doing reaction video watches like non-stop.
Yeah. Anyway, moving along. So I mentioned off camera I did the unthinkable right before we started recording, and that is I've been using my PlayStation 5 a lot.
And I brought up the fact that that's the exact opposite of what's going on in my life.
Because
I haven't touched that shit in ages.
Because I've been actually using... I've been playing... There's been games I want to play that are on the PlayStation. Specifically, I bought one, and it's really bad. Well, not really bad, but like... bad.
Yeah.
It's, I bought South Park Snow Day. So...
Yeah, people are split on that shit hard.
I'm gonna share my thoughts on the game.
Yeah.
So, prepare for my... So, I bought it at a Best Buy. I showed it to my dad, and I was like, "Can I get this?" And he was like... He looked at it, and he was like, "Sure." And I paid half of that, $30.
Oof.
Yeah, full price. Full retail launch price. And then I stuck it in my PS5, and I was like, okay, I'm ready for this to be fucking terrible.
And it was.
And it was, kind of.
So, the thing about South Park Snow Day, from what I can gather, is that the issue comes in with the fact that it's just not a fun game to play.
I mean, yeah.
Specifically, like, the actual gameplay of it is not great.
It's
really boring and repetitive.
It's just mash square, which is the attack button most of the time.
Like, there are aspects of the game that are good, but they have nothing to do with the actual gameplay.
Okay. I'll share what I like about the game first. I don't mind the 3D setting. I got kind of used to it after a bit. That's it. No, I'm joking. There was something else I liked about it, but...
They did a good job recreating the way that the show looked with 3D during the cutscenes. Unfortunately, the gameplay to cutscene integration is not great.
Yeah. The opening cutscene was done in the 2D style.
I like the fact that the new kid's the main character again.
Yeah. You get to customize them.
Oh, I do love the justification for why they're playing a new game and why you got
you got.
And it's also technically the justification as to why the new kid never shows up in the show, and that's that no one likes the new kid because he just keeps breaking these games.
Yeah.
Like, unironically, you getting so OP basically leads to everyone kind of fucking hating you.
Yeah. So, is the game that bad? Well, it's not 3 out of 10 worthy, but it is pretty,
From what I can tell, most people generally agree, like, the ones who played it and aren't being, overly dramatic assholes about the whole thing.
Yeah.
The game is mid at best.
I'd give it a 5 out of 10, if any, at its current state. Now I've given everything I've liked. That's like 2 things. On to my very strong criticisms for the game.
Oof.
Yeah, you heard that right. Well, as you mentioned, as previously stated, the combat is pretty much just mash one button, and I know a bunch of other games do that, but this is like
there is variation with these types of hack and slash games that make them fun. If you ever play DMC, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and there's literally only 3 melee weapons in the game and 3 ranged weapons. In a game that's meant to be played with, 4 people.
That's not even enough for everyone to be unique.
Yeah. Another criticism I'll reiterate, there's no local co-op.
Oh, wait, there is one other aspect of the story that's good. And that's the fact that it's a continuation of the Mr. Hanky storyline.
Yeah. What else am I have to criticize it for? I was playing it.
The levels go on for too long.
Yeah, and then I died 5 times, and I had to replay it from the start, and that was pretty annoying. But eventually, I got the hang of things.
Like if you die at a boss, you have to replay essentially the whole thing again.
Yeah, it's a roguelike.
Look, roguelikes work, but only because there's usually a ton of things to do in those types of shit.
Be sure to mute the gamepad so there's no echo.
Like, the ever played Binding of Isaac, there is so many things that, unless you spend all your time playing that game, chances are you're never going to be able to see all of it.
Yeah.
I should know this. I played Binding of Isaac.
Yeah. Also, there is no crossplay in the game, so as someone who's playing on PS5, I can only play with people also on the game on PS5.
Which
and I did not play online, so
let's be honest here. That's a bad design choice.
Yeah, nowadays. Multiplayer game in 2024 with no crossplay.
Unless you're someone like Nintendo, whose multiplayer game is very much it's basically purely theirs. No one else is getting it. You're basically just consigning yourself to having a splintered fan base.
Yeah. If you put out a multi-platform multiplayer game and it doesn't have crossplay, what are you doing?
Even the most stubborn ones of that kind of stuff have gone ahead and integrated it because everyone knows it's the only way to survive in this type of industry.
Yeah. So I mentioned the levels go on for too long.
Literally hour-long levels.
Yeah. Sad the multiplayer is online only, but since they intend to update the game, I have small hope that they'll add local in the future patch, but...
I do find it absolutely hilarious, The like people pouring out. Fucking like when it came to the other two games, the creators went out of their way to advertise them super heavily.
Yeah.
But when it came to this game, like you could tell that at some point in the development they realized this game is shit because they do not talk about this game at all.
I mean, Matt Stone did that IGN interview, and then IGN gave the game a 3. They still do the voices, so that's a positive.
Oh, all the side characters are voiced by Mantre's kids.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Like, I get it, their kids are being more and more integrated into the show, which is, you know, kind of funny if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, there's a character...
One of them straight up says, "Fuck!" if they die.
Yeah, like, there's a character that's, like, very obviously deliberately, like, meant to be voiced by one of their daughters, the blonde girl that was introducing the vaccination stuff.
I know that one.
And, like, she still shows up in the show, so she's essentially now a new minor recurring character.
Yeah.
But, like, guys, if you really want to make a roguelike, there needs to be a lot of variation.
Yeah.
And part of that is not having all the characters sound exactly the fucking same. It gets really annoying, and oh yeah, it makes it sound super repetitive.
Yeah. Like, there was one variation of a roguelike, I think it's the 3rd level, where you have to pass 3 tests, but you only get to play 2 of them. And which ones you play and the order you play them in is random. Each time you run through it.
Yeah.
God, what else was that? What else do I hate about it? Oh, as I was playing the game, so, like, for some reason they used the money currency as toilet paper, and then all of a sudden it clicked on my head, and I just bashed my head against the wall, figuratively.
Why?
Because it's a fucking COVID parody. And I'm like, didn't they already do that twice? 3 times, 4 times, 5 times? So, they had like 4 days.
So the thing is, I get where you're coming from and that it's a COVID parody, but in reality I get the feeling that it's less because of COVID, and a lot more to do with the fact that the main antagonist of this game is Mr. Hanky.
I mean, yeah, but from the way they...
The dark matter that you used to upgrade is literally shit.
I know. But like from the way the characters talk, like there's a scene where Randy hoards a bunch of toilet paper, saying, "Oh, it's worth so much money now."
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this sounds like Family Guy being late to a joke. And I hate to bring that up to compare that to like South Park, but
the thing about that is, I have to defend him on this on one front.
And I know games like take longer to make than a 6 day of air show, but. Yeah.
Games take years to make.
I know.
Like, literal years. Even the smallest game could take up a year. Like, you ever played, like, the worst game in the world? Like, some of them?
Yeah.
That shit still took a long-ass time to make.
I know. But, like, they said in an interview that when they're writing, like, the script for a game, they want to make sure the jokes feel, like, timeless, because it's going to take years to come out.
Yeah, why do you think they deliberately made the game about shit?
Exactly.
Like, they at some point they clearly realized that joke wasn't gonna work, so they like essentially made it all about shit, so that it like while the topical joke it can be ignored, the real joke is basically you're playing with shit.
Yeah. Yum. I mean,
because you honestly think that it's a coincidence that the entire game's about Mr. Hanky when. Who the fuck's been thinking about Mr. Hanky ever since the problem with Apu?
No one.
Yeah.
Well,
no one asked about it.
Yeah, they brought that up in the game, and then they actually played a clip from the episode. And I was like, oh yeah.
Because people honestly kind of forgot about it because it was during a season that, like, most people don't really care about.
22.
It was basically back before they got back into the swing of things.
Yeah. It was when #cancel South Park was a marketing slogan. What else do I have to say about it? Oh. I don't like how they went back to the fantasy theme immediately. For no reason.
I think the idea is that, this isn't meant to be the actual, like, 3rd game.
Yeah, I know, but...
So they just went with the models they already had.
Yeah. But what?
Because let's be honest here. I have my idea as to why they already had these models, and my idea is originally Stick of Truth was meant to be a 3D game.
Maybe.
You can kind of tell that for the longest time they tried making this franchise a 3D franchise, but they can never make it work.
Rarely happened.
We put a lot of blame on Acclaim on that shit, but let's be perfectly honest here. Mantrey were the ones that kept okaying the idea of a 3D South Park game.
Yeah, but
essentially, they've been trying to prove that it can work, and every single time it's happened, it's never worked. The few games that have worked are the ones that literally just say, "Fuck it, let's go with the actual show's art style."
Yeah.
So you can kind of feel like their decision to go 3D on their first game after those two games is basically a way to say, South Park can work in 3D, guys. Come on.
And I am after seeing what kind of game this is, I am even more happy that Ubisoft is not involved in this because it would have been infinitely worse.
It's already pretty bad.
Yeah, but
especially with the monetization thing.
Yeah. But with Ubisoft, I guarantee it would have been much more.
This game already has so many fucking DLC.
It would have been $60.
It would have been awful.
No, it would have been $70. All the weapons are locked behind paid DLC. There's DLC cosmetics, battle passes. Yeah. But yeah, I beat the story. I don't know what to do with the game now.
There's only a post button.
I'll probably try to platinum it, because why not, but apart from that, I don't know. And then, something made me realize, something's a bit off about this game, so later, I'm also playing through Fractured Butthole on Steam, and I booted that up, and then it suddenly clicked to me. This game isn't funny.
Yeah, you can't really do the levels of comedy you could in the other games in this type of game.
For context, when I was playing Fractured on my PC, when I loaded it up, I was at the police station level, which is where a bunch of really weird shit happens. Boss fight against Garrett from Subway.
Technically, I was actually bringing up the actual Cthulhu Mythos character.
But should I censor that?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, that. And I was laughing my ass off, and I realized, oh my god, this is what Snow Day is missing. Big shock humor moments.
The world building just isn't there, because it's a fucking roguelike.
And the closest I can get to oh my god, big shock humor moments is fucking, the final boss fight, which is a literal giant piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
that's just another retread of their whole Doom obsession.
Which is
not Dune.
Which is a reference to the fact that this game is a piece of shit.
It's a reference to the fact that,
that's a joke.
Mantrey are, ridiculously obsessed with that series.
Yeah.
This isn't even, the only Dune parody they've made in the last while, remember?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I did have some fun with the game, but, compared to Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole, and I know I said it's not going to be as good, but, if you compare it in writing styles, it's bad. And I know people point out, well, this game was part of that $900 million Paramount contract. And apparently Paramount mandated that game existence, when I originally thought, oh, they chose to make that game with the money they had. But I mean, just because it's under a fucking contract doesn't mean, oh, it has to be shit. I mean, the movie was under a contract. And it was great.
The thing is, I get the feeling they had, bringing back to that whole not really advertising thing. I get the feeling they had literally zero passion for this game.
They wrote the script, they did the voices.
The thing that they liked was the story, but even then, it feels like an extended episode. Yeah. Unlike the other games where it felt like it was a season's worth of content,
Yeah.
Yeah. The other games felt like they took those heavily serialized seasons and made it an entire like playable like thing. This felt like just like a double length episode, but not in a good way. Like it's an episode that honestly should have just been one episode.
And also by the time I finished, my playtime clocked in at 8 hours, which is. I think I finished Cinder Fruit for the first time in 10 hours and Fractured Butthole in 14 hours. So this is definitely the fastest I've done it. Now, is that a good thing? Well, it let me be done with the game sooner, so yes. Thumbs up to me. So then, overall, I give the game, if I had to score the game out of 10, I give it a 5. There's some things I kind of like about it, but there's a lot of things I really don't like about it.
Really, this just kind of felt like a filler game until they can come up with an actual concept for the third game.
I'm still hoping for the sci-fi theme.
You know, kind of like Phone Destroyer.
Yeah. And yeah, they do intend to update the game with like DLC and shit.
But it's mostly cosmetic stuff from what I can tell. Which makes sense. They don't really like DLC normally.
Yeah. I mean, Fractured Butthole, they did DLC, but that's because they realized, oh, this game's taking too long, let's split these up into DLC.
And like I mentioned, going back to that whole season's worth of episodes, like those DLCs essentially felt like their own season where it's just like 3 mini arcs.
Yeah. Like just recently they released like a free cosmetic pack that just has 420 themed outfits. Like the Terribly Farm shirt, because of course.
Yep.
And there's a paid cosmetic DLC of Fred. Every time I see the Prime drink in the store, I have to send a picture to my sister and be like, I got Fred, bitches.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, every time I see Prime, I also think of Fred.
Yeah. And they've also, and specifically Matt Stone, in the IGN interview, also said he wants to try something with the game where something like 2 to 3 weeks after an episode airs, content from that episode is added to the game, which apparently is a lot easier to do in 3D.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll see when season 27 airs, which apparently
let's be perfectly honest here. It's just gonna be like cosmetic items.
Yeah, and apparently season 27 will air closer to the fall this time, as opposed to it would have been finished by now.
Yeah.
And we all know why they're doing it close to the fall, and that's because it's an election year, baby.
Yeah.
Hey. Who's ready for us to relocate to Canada?
Look, as much as people dislike Joe Biden as president, it is factually the correct choice.
Still better
not to vote in Trump.
I'm sorry, I don't want to get political on this channel, but don't vote.
No, I've been pretty political in the past here. But let me tell you this right now.
Don't vote.
Trump is a fucking maniac who is going to not only run this country to the ground, he is going to destroy democracy as a whole.
Yeah, I know.
Not only because he literally wants to be a dictator, but because it's part of their fucking plan. Literally, they have a plan called Plan 2025.
Project 2025.
Yeah, Project 2025, where they basically already decided they're going to try their fucking hardest to tear down democracy and essentially put it in a white ethno state.
Yeah. All right. So, are we gonna coordinate a group move to Canada?
Not gonna lie, this is one of those cases where really it's starting to feel like blood is going to be spilled.
Oh, definitely.
And I do mean literally, like, this shit might hit Civil War levels.
So we moving to Canada?
I kind of like the United States a bit too much.
I know, but I say Canada because it's like part of North America and I wouldn't have to.
Look, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Canada's has nice and all.
Yeah, but
I'd rather just annex Canada.
At the same time, it's Canada.
Than ever have to move into Canada, if you know what I mean.
Option 2,
Speaking of annexing Canada...
Option 2, we purchase a bunker and hide out in there.
Speaking of annexing Canada, let's talk about Fallout!
Oh yeah, they got a show.
I watched it. I loved it.
I haven't. I don't have Prime.
Oh.
Well, I do, but I don't use it.
Well, I watched it in its entirety. Great show.
I've heard it's good.
Yeah. Like, probably easily the best video game adaptation like got so far. Especially since it does the one thing we've always said it was a good idea. Don't fucking adapt the story of the games. Make a story set in the universe.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
like, I'm gonna just give you a heavy recommendation for everyone. This is very much a like great show. If you love Fallout, check it out. If you like post-apocalyptic stuff, check it out. If you just like really well-acted scenes, check it out. I think the one thing that's gonna get you to not like it is if you are the type of person who can't accept the fact that, first of all, New Vegas isn't the fucking end of the series. Second of all, that shit doesn't change because, yeah, I'm gonna be brutally honest here, you guys. You realize that this is a franchise kind of infamous for its retcons.
yeah.
Like, every single game, even like between 1 and 2, changed shit so heavily that it's like not even a good idea to try and make a cohesive like timeline of this shit sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway,
Basically, a lot of New Vegas like fanatics got really upset because of because like they thought that they retconned New Vegas even though it really didn't. And the event that took place during that year that like New Vegas took place in happened after the events of New Vegas.
yeah.
And even then, it's not what they were fucking referring to, you goddamn fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like, Todd Howard has gone on record to say no, New Vegas has not been retconned and nothing has changed.
Yet. Anyways, I've seen some movies. Specifically 3 movies I've seen since then.
Huh?
In order, I watched Godzilla Con, The Episode Silent.
Yeah.
It was just them making out for 2 hours.
I do like that the general reaction from Japan was basically, this movie is stupid, it's great.
It is very stupid, but I enjoyed it a lot, and it's
Because, yeah,
very meme-worthy.
Godzilla fans from Japan, and just generally kaiju fans in general, are very much the type of people who are willing to accept stupid, dumb fun.
Yeah. I'm in a group chat with Jonathan.
But by the way, the only other people who are getting this pissy about the Fallout show that aren't literally just like Fallout, like New Vegas fans who are basically like obsessive with the idea of hating Bethesda and everything it stands for, are the chuds who basically, you know, the types of people who go out of their way to hate anything that's quote-unquote woke.
Woke. I complain, but I'm the only white person on this channel, so I can't say anything about it.
I'll say this.
That's a joke, but...
You guys realize what fucking franchise we're talking about. This is just like when they complained about the X-Men, like, hey, you're complaining about the fucking X-Men being woke. Do you know what the X-Men are?
Diverse.
Like, it's literally an allegory for that stuff.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah, Godzilla Con was stupid, but dumb fun. I went deaf during that
And, like, Fallout is infamously, like, basically just consistently, angry at, like, the way that America basically does shit.
Yeah.
Like, it is a criticism of America as a country, specifically in the way that they basically just... Essentially, they're going against specifically the way that the right wing does shit.
Yeah. I was saying, I have a group chat with Jonathan and Camden where we just talk about movies and occasionally plan, let's go watch a movie together. And since we've all seen that movie, we all just... Our most current phase is just sending Godzilla Con gifs and memes into it. And they're stupid. After that, I watched the new Ghostbusters movie, Frozen Empire.
How was it?
As someone who liked the last one a lot, I enjoyed this one as well.
I heard that it was kind of mid.
I enjoyed it. I liked it. I like the characters.
Fair enough.
And most recently, aka 2 days ago, I watched the Spy Family Code White movie. It's a work of art. You know, it makes sense that it takes extra damage from fire attacks.
No, I knew that it was weak for that.
Yeah. I'm saying it'd be stupid if it didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched Spy Family Code White, and I wanted to jump out of my seat because of how much I was laughing. That movie is really funny. It's pretty... yeah, it's good. And next, I'm seeing the re-release of Star Wars Episode 1 on Sunday. Because I know it's Episode 1, but man, it's Star Wars in this movie theater. How can I not?
Yep.
Specifically Duel of the Fates with those in an HD auditorium, which I'm seeing it in. My ears will ascend. Other than that, there was a new trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Which if you still don't think this movie's gonna be R-rated, I don't know what to tell you after this. They say
you're clearly just wanting to hate Disney. Come on.
They said fuck multiple times.
Like, it's blatantly obvious that this is meant to be rated R.
Yeah. From the door to now the swearing.
Literally, what the ending joke was a joke about, like, how the only thing they can't get away with is cocaine.
Yeah.
And even then, they still try to go through it.
Are they gonna reference the fact that a bunch of Disney movies bombed last year? And then call people out for going to see X-Men even though it... No, call people out for saying Disney's woke when the X-Men's famously diverse.
But just straight up, you guys are fucking jokes.
The reaction, if they do that, the reactions to it will be hilarious.
Like, fucking, even back during the Fox, the Fox, like, X-Men era, literally one of the first things that they showed Deadpool doing is getting pegged.
Oh yeah. Pegging isn't new for me, friendo. But it is for Disney. Hey. So yeah, it's gonna be one of those movies my dad actually goes out to the theater to watch because my mom refuses to watch it. For reasons.
Why does she refuse to watch it?
Too gory.
Yeah, I do not recommend Fallout for her. Yeah. That show is gloriously gory.
She tried to watch the Last of Us show and she was like, what kind of game was this based off? So I told her it was based on a game.
Did you tell her, like, post-apocalyptic?
Yeah.
What was her response to that?
What the hell? But yeah, my dad's actually gonna go out because he took me to see the last one along with you and Kevin.
Yep. That was a lot of fun, actually.
It was. And he's also gonna go out to see the new Planet of the Apes, which is coming out soon.
It's actually kind of funny to think about the fact that the Planet of the Apes is just a franchise that has managed to survive this long.
Because Monkey.
Return to Monkey.
But yeah, that comes out on my sister's birthday as a fun fact. She's turning 20 this year. But yeah, he saw the last one in the theater, so we're gonna go see that one. And he's like, okay, if we're going to see this one, it has to be at Hillsdale.
Why?
Because he likes getting food delivered to him.
Fair enough.
Last movie we watched was in Redwood, and it was Wonka.
Yeah, Redwood's a lot more of a classic theater.
Yeah. Speaking of birthday stuff, this year this movie called Sonic 3 is coming out on my birthday. Well, I'll be turning 23, and they just casted Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog.
That they did.
My sister hasn't taken it well.
Why?
Because she saw like a trend on TikTok where it was like, oh my god, it's John Wick or something like that, and then she was like, "Who's Keanu Reeves?" And I was like, "It's John Wick." And she was like, "Oh fuck."
What's wrong with John Wick, huh?
Yeah, it haunts her. She has a bounty on her head. Oh, and TikTok might get banned in the US, so that's fun.
So the sad part is it's being banned because it's basically like telling people about genocide and stuff like that.
And
on the other hand, I am happy that it's finally being gone because I cannot stand certain aspects of it.
Unless an American company buys it out for like $200 billion. But the owner said they'd rather shut down than sell it, so...
They're Chinese, so yeah.
They have until January 19th. And I told my sister, "How are you taking this?" And she's like, "I want to kill myself." And I'm like, "There's Instagram Reels, there's YouTube Shorts, there's..." And she's like, "Shut up."
No, I agree with your sister. As someone who deals with a sister who watches YouTube Shorts, that shit sucks.
I mean, I use YouTube Shorts, but... I mean, they're free views, but like, you know... It's stupid. What else? Yeah. Talked about Snow Day, talked about the movies, we talked about political. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry for scaring off anyone like that. Go fuck yourselves if you...
Like, unironically, you guys realize that you... like, what you are, right?
Losers. Loners. People who will never get a girlfriend.
Like, just... fucking racist assholes.
Exactly.
Like, I know that there's been jokes at my expense about, like...
Racism?
Yeah, like, on the basis that I'm very much aware of just how Japan treats people, and, like, how I do not agree with that kind of stuff. Which made the joke about, like, Steven's racist towards the Japanese, even though... Yeah, no, I've gone plenty on record about how much I love Japanese culture. It's just... At the end of the day, you guys are people who hate other people for shit that they can't even control.
Yeah.
You hate them just because they're there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, but that sounds like being a gigantic asshole for no reason.
Exactly. Also, I've gotten into stocks recently.
Cool.
I bought some stock in Snapchat, and then it surged like 30%, so I made like $4 off of that.
Huh.
So yeah. I also invested in AMC as a joke because one share was $3.
What happened to that?
I'm earning money. I've lost $1, but like, you know, I think it will go back up when like a big movie comes out. Because, you know...
Big movie.
Yeah, my dad's friend, aka former voice of Charlie Brown, is big into the stock market, so he's been telling me, like... He's been giving me advice, like, don't invest in more than 10 companies at a time. And, like, when you buy a stock, you make sure you want to hold on to it.
Yeah.
He also held stock in Activision Blizzard before they were bought by Microsoft. And he got paid for that buyout. And so, we made a deal that if the buyout does successfully go through, then he has to take me and my dad to an expensive steakhouse. And he has to pay for everything. And he's kept true to his word. We're gonna do that.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently they're gonna be adding all the older CODs to Game Pass in June. Which, that's good.
Fuck off.
Anyways. Also speaking of movies, there was yet another update on Coyote vs. Acme that's kind of good. For starters, the New York Times contacted Warner Brothers Discovery themselves. And they said, no, the movie has not been written off. It is still available for purchase. No one's just made any offers yet. Apparently.
Sounds like some bullshit, but I'll believe it for now.
Yeah. Approximately 12, at least a dozen companies have viewed the movie, and they haven't made a bid yet, but who knows if they might. We know 5 of them at least. There's Netflix, Paramount, Amazon, Sony, and Apple. So who knows? Maybe that movie will see the light of day. Probably will, either if it's official release or someone just leaks it on the internet. Yeah, now. And there's another Looney Tunes movie supposed to come out this year. The Day the Earth Blew Up. Fully 2D animation. It was supposed to go straight to Cartoon Network, but they decided, you know what, let's sell the distribution rights, and that distributor decided to release it in theaters. So that's cool. I don't know what else has popped up.
So there's currently a rap beef going on.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's Kendrick and Drake.
I saw someone say Rip Drake on an Instagram story, and I was like, wait, did Drake die?
No,
I had to
it's just that Kendrick Lamar uploaded his diss track yesterday.
Yeah.
And yeah, Drake is definitely not winning.
Yeah, I had to doodle, because I thought, wait, Drake's dead? Well, he's not. Ooh, also, there was another Splatfest in Splatoon 3, which I said will be starting to play on this channel. This new Splatfest was spring themed. Saying which animal is the cutest? Baby chicks, little bunnies, or bear cubs?
Probably bear cubs.
And, you know, since it's a chicken, a bunny, and a bear...
Because, like, in my opinion here, right?
Yeah.
I've dealt with, like, my sister used to have a bunny. I fucking hated the thing. I've met chickens as a kid. They're evil little things.
Yeah.
Bears are so adorable that even as adults they can be adorable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sticking with the bear cubs on this one.
So people took notice of the fact that it's a bear and a bunny and a chicken, and they're like, "Oh my God, Freddy versus Bonnie versus Chica." And there was a bunch of FNAF Miiverse posts in there.
Yeah. Okay.
And of course, bear cubs won. And people immediately called, "Okay, Mr. Grizz rigged it."
Well, I gave my excuse for as to why I chose bear cubs. Why do I get the feeling the way you said, of course, implies that Shiver was bear cubs?
Bidman was bear cubs.
Okay, good.
Shiver was chips. And Fry got dead fucking last. Again.
Well, I can't help but say he deserved it for choosing bunnies.
Fry's a girl.
Okay.
I also had this dream last night that, fucking, they announced a third DLC where Pearl and Marina just got married.
I can believe it.
Yeah. Man, that shit's gonna be wild.
Yeah, just... I brought it up. I can't stand rabbits because I've dealt with a rabbit. That little asshole constantly went out of his way to try and piss on everyone.
Fun.
And since the piss acts kind of like a fucking bleach, that shit would literally stain my black Logan.
Yeah. But yeah. Gloomy. Yeah, everyone just started saying, "Okay, Grisco rigged this."
Honestly, as you should have.
And April Fool's Day passed as well.
Cool.
Nothing happened. I don't know what else has happened. Trying to think of what has. Which one is it? I got a physical copy of Persona 4 Golden on Switch in the mail a couple days ago.
Cool.
So yeah, now I have 3.
You have 3 copies of it?
No, I have. Well, technically I do. I have it on Vita, Switch, and also PC. I know I played it on Xbox, but that was through Game Pass. And I'm not going to buy it on Xbox. And I know I'm very much a one-time enough for a game kind of guy, but I do intend on replaying it eventually. So I want to finish Persona 5 Tactica first, and then do Persona 3 Reload, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Blech. Also, speaking of Persona, I've been playing Persona Q2 recently. AKA the game that was doomed to fail. Because it was a 3DS exclusive game in 2019. Now, class, tell me what went wrong. Apart from that,
I accidentally broke the one with the fucking samurais.
Yeah. So yeah, Q2 is one of those games where you have to draw a map on the touchpad, on the touch screen, but I lost my stylus ages ago, and it hurts to do it with my thumb, and it does not recognize it. So I just don't draw.
Fucking samurai!
They're getting gangbanged.
They're literally meant to be Roxas' servants, by the way.
Yeah. I can appreciate them for keeping all the bases broken. Even after you die. Oh yeah, Velma Season 2 came out.
Finally, people are giving Scrappy the respect he deserves.
He doesn't deserve to be in this shit.
Yeah, but he did get to kill Velma.
That is true. I also watched the first 4 episodes of Knuckles, and I just haven't gotten around to watching the last 2. But I will. It's something.
Yep.
Also, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is officially happening. The movie.
Yep, I did hear that.
Horror. And from a behind-the-scenes photo, it's going to have the toy animatronics. Coming 2025.
Cool.
I'm scared to see Toy Chica on the big screen.
You can just tell. Some of y'all are going to be acting unwise about this whole thing.
Yeah. And also recently, this little-known series called Family Guy, which, as you guys might have told from our previous videos, we have opinions towards.
Are you talking about the fact that Seth said he wants to keep the show going indefinitely?
Yeah, it has 25th anniversary, and it said, there's no reason to end it now. People like it. People watch it.
I guess I'll give him the respect of at least claiming that part of the reason he doesn't want to shut it down is so that people can keep their jobs.
Yeah. He said ages ago he wanted to end, but now he's like, you know what? It's gone on long enough. Why the hell not?
He's basically come around to the idea of having it be a Simpsons, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
This never ending.
And not only will it never end, but this year we're also doing 2 exclusive events on Hulu. Sound familiar?
So they're moving to the South Park way of doing things?
Yeah.
Well, I can't say that it's a bad model, so...
But...
really feels like you're copying them.
Have you seen how hard they try to be South Park?
Yep.
Well, I mean, recently it started airing on Wednesday nights instead of Sunday nights. And some people took that as to mean, oh, Fox wants to kill the show. And by Fox, I mean the cable network Fox.
Yep.
And I think if Fox does cancel it, Disney will just pick it right back up and air new episodes on Hulu instead.
Yeah, probably.
It also reminds me that South Park was originally pitched to Fox, the cable network. But they rejected it because of Mr. Hanke. And...
considering the shit that they let Family Guy get away with, that really doesn't seem fair.
Yeah. And apparently, they also told Matt and Trey, a show would not perform well if it's not centered around a family. Something like that.
Well, technically it does center around one family, it also centers around like 3 other families.
Yeah.
Even then, really, it's...
But put it into the perspective of, like, season 1.
Yeah, like, technically, let's be honest here, there is a main family that we follow. It's Stan's family, because Stan and Randy are the main characters at this point. Like, realistically speaking, let's be honest here, Stan's always been the main character. Like, he's the main, like, point of view character. But Randy's become so much of a main character that it's blatantly apparent that, yeah, Stan's family are the main characters of the show. Because even, like, nowadays, even, Sharon and Shelley are actually getting important stuff.
Yeah. If it was part of Fox, it would have been included in the Disney buyout. And that's horrifying.
Oh god, yeah. Imagine.
Unless, Disney buys Paramount.
But yeah, it is kind of funny seeing just how the show's evolved. Like, as the show's evolved, the world of South Park keeps getting bigger and bigger. But ironically enough, the focal points actually kind of get...
smaller.
Yeah, just like... Kenny is so out of focus that he really only shows up every once in a while. Like, unironically, sometimes he doesn't even have speaking roles.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Kenny's been out of focus since, like, season 11. Fucking... Kyle... Honestly, whenever Kyle's brought up as a main character, it feels like all they're doing is making him worse.
Yeah.
Like, at one point they made him his mom from the movie, essentially.
Yeah, I do remember that. That episode sucked.
Yeah, but like, I feel bad for Kyle because Kyle was the best friend, but because the story of South Park has focused so much more on Stan and his family because the writers loved Randy and unironically Stan is already the main focal kid in the first place. So no real reason to switch shit up then. Like with the ever-increasing presence of Randy, the Tegrity Farms thing has kind of become its own subculture inside of South Park, to the point where Token's family moves right next to them, and now it really does feel like Token is like Stan's actual best friend, which fair. Token is a much worse, is a much better choice on the basis that he's much less of a terrible person.
Yeah.
And you, unlike with like the other kids, where Stan is canonically getting drunk all the time to like be able to stay with them, you can see Token and like Stan just having literal same interests.
Yeah.
Like they're both Warhammer fans and stuff like that. So ironically enough, by like the way that Randy's kind of evolved the world of South Park ever since he's gotten to Focus, it's made Stan and Kyle more diverse as characters, but it's actively pushed them away.
Yeah.
And Cartman's the only other boy that gets actual focus outside of Stan.
Because he's Cartman.
Yeah, he's the other main character, essentially.
Anyways.
His family drama is the other focus of the franchise, really. Because, like, nowadays, whenever there's a big status quo change, it's either going to be a status quo change to the Marshes, or it's going to be to the Cartmans. Kyle's family, like, doesn't really do anything, especially after the whole skank hunt thing basically made everyone fucking hate the family.
Yeah.
Like, people already didn't like Sharon, like, Sheila for the fucking movie. But everyone hated Gerald after fucking Skank Hunt. No one likes him. No one wants him as a character. People outright complain when he appears in an episode.
Because they never followed up on that shit.
And while the McCormicks are really cool to follow, in reality, it's not the family that's cool to follow. It's Kenny and his sister.
And apparently, Phone Destroyer does establish that everyone does eventually find out that Skank Hunt was Gerald.
Oh, I wonder how they felt about that.
They just haven't spoken further.
Yeah, but like, there's a reason why the second most important character when it comes to, like, when it comes to outside of the kids, the second most important character, as in like the character that gets the most focus outside of the kids, after Randy, is probably Wendy, because she's Stan's girlfriend. Yeah. So she has to keep coming back up. So yeah, like, unironically, the world of South Park has gotten huge. People know so much about it that you can actually, like, map out the fucking town. And, like, people love everything about it. But the focal point has kind of shifted. It's no longer the four kids. It's Stan, Randy, and occasionally Butters.
Occasionally. When they want to torture him.
Yeah. When they want to kick him while he's down.
Yeah.
And the reason I didn't bring up Butters as the second most important kids outside of the kids, it's because he's a member of the kids. Realistically, he's the fifth member. They just don't hang out with him as much.
Yeah. It's the fifth buddy.
Like, he's literally, like, always hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Unlike the other kids where, like, it's established in stuff like fucking Pandemic, you know, the two-parter?
Yeah.
Where it's established no one hangs out with them because no one fucking likes them since they constantly get into trouble.
Yeah.
Butters is legitimately one of their friends. He's always hanging around them. He's always spending time with Cartman.
For better or worse.
Yeah, it's just like, unironically, when they were looking for a replacement, they basically found him. Especially since Kenny doesn't really do anything nowadays. That whenever he's not given focus.
Yeah.
To the point where literally one of the most recent seasons ended with Butters getting a massive W.
Yeah.
And along with that, Kenny taking that W too. He got money out of that shit.
Alright. Anyways.
It's actually funny. Sorry, my rant about like how the character dynamics in South Park have changed was kind of ridiculous, but considering like how often South Park comes up in this channel, it's to be expected, actually.
Yeah.
It's legitimately one of the things we talk about the most since we're huge fans of the show.
And the movie's being re-released in 2 months. Next month, actually.
Oh yeah, when is that happening?
June 23rd, Sunday, and June 26th, Wednesday.
June?
June.
I could definitely do June 26th.
Yeah. The closest theater is in Mountain View. That's playing it.
Yeah, like...
And I can probably convince one of my parents to get rides. Because it's playing at 7 p.m.
Yep.
I already have tickets for the Sunday with my sister, but sure, I could fucking do it. I could go again. Why the hell not? It's a sing-along. I'm gonna sing! And I cannot sing for the life of me.
Let's be honest here. When you're in a sing-along, you're just gonna have to expect everyone to suck.
Yeah.
So it's like karaoke. You just go with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're terrible. Everyone's terrible at it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the showtime I picked was 4 p.m. on Sunday, and me and my sister are literally the only ones in that theater currently.
Nice.
Meanwhile, 7 p.m. has like 4 seats taken. And in terms of like the Wednesday, it's completely free at the moment.
Nice. The reason I can't do the
Sunday
is because I work.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna sit in the very front row. No.
Like, if I had availability on Sunday, I probably would like join you guys.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot easier to coordinate and everything.
Yeah. But alas.
This is one of the big bosses of the game.
Yeah.
By that I mean it's literally a unique enemy. Like, you don't see this outside of this game.
Yeah.
There are like a few of these throughout the game. And I honestly really like that attention to detail where, like, they are legitimately just giant enemy heartlesses that you kind of have to take down. And the reason they don't show up is because they're unique enemies that Roxas took down out of, like, away from the game, which actually helps explain how, in 2, like, basically, you don't encounter as many of these giant heartlesses.
Yeah.
Like, you encounter them, but there are a lot more from what I remember, like, actual, like, Disney characters as the main bad guys of the of each level. And they really only start showing up again until, like, the revisits. Like, for Mulan specifically, like, Shan Yu's the main bad guy of the first visit.
Yeah.
You don't encounter, like, the giant enemy heartless until the second visit.
Yeah. And I have noticed that, man, they're re-releasing both Star Wars Episode 1 and South Park theatrically this year. Is this what it was like to live in 1999? And I know you were born in that year, but like...
I was born like the last 5 days of that year.
But both of those movies were in the summer. Now, I really want...
Like, I was born in the demon days of that year is what you'll find. Now,
I really want to know is if history will repeat itself, and if young kids will try to sneak their way into South Park again.
I do find it funny that essentially that movie's entire story is just a call and response to the existence of that movie.
Yeah, because that actually did happen when it first came out. People tried to buy tickets to Wild Wild West, which is rated PG-13, and instead sat and see South Park. Because both of those opened on the same day. Which was like referenced in an episode that aired 2 weeks after the movie. Huh. That's a drill. And people are now starting to think that Disney's making a Kingdom Hearts movie.
Yeah, there's speculation that that's a thing.
Yeah. Now I wonder if that happens, would it be an adaptation of like one of the games or just an original story?
So that's a good question, and like the issue of answering that is it's kind of up in the air, like what they can do.
And how much will Tetsuya Nomura be involved?
For all I know, they'll probably like do something crazy like adapt what happened to the Dandelions after they entered the New World or some shit like that. You know, heavy lore implications that they can just do in an hour and a half instead of like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because there is already technically a Kingdom Hearts movie, but it's not really a movie, it's just a 40-minute long, like, essentially side movie thing going.
Yeah.
It's part of the 2.8.
Yeah, I know that one. And speaking of video game movies, there's another installment in the Jack Black video game movie saga coming out this year.
Which?
Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that movie, to be honest.
Yeah, people are split on that because on one hand,
it looks faithful to the source material,
but on the other hand,
it looks bad.
Yeah. Like, people were split on Fallout 2 when it first showed up on trailers, but everyone's immediate reaction to the show was, "Oh, this is great."
Meanwhile, Borderlands, the movie.
By the way, just watch the first 7 minutes of the first episode, and you can tell that this shit's great.
Yeah.
Honestly, we can easily do that.
Maybe. I don't think I'm logged into Prime here though.
I'm pretty sure I have access to it on my phone.
Maybe one day. But like, go. But like, you know. I mean, there's the case that this is a video game movie.
By the way, one thing that's notable is that, like, whenever these giant enemy heartlesses show up in a world, the implication is that, for the most part, this world's kind of done.
Yeah.
For the most part.
For the most part.
It'll pop up again for free missions and stuff like that, but, like, the main story's kind of over for this world now.
Oh, that's why it looks bad. I'll be a writer's producer.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Meanwhile, the person who was in charge of Fallout was Christopher Nolan's brother.
Damn.
Yeah, Jonathan Nolan, who was the guy in charge of Westworld.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna watch this movie, but I do not expect it to be good. And there's another one. There's another installment in the Jack Black video game movie saga coming out next year.
Well,
Minecraft. He's gonna be playing Steve. Which means, yes, Jack Black is in Smash 2 times.
Is it sad that I can actually kind of see it?
Live action Minecraft movie.
Yeah, just Jack Black has a beard.
Yeah. And he says...
And let's be honest here, when I imagine Steve, I can easily imagine him being fat.
Yeah. And he says he's been preparing for the role by playing Minecraft for 8 hours a day. Well, I don't know if that's long, but so he's preparing, mainly with his kids.
Nice.
That movie will make 1 billion emeralds. Anyways. Blech.
Don't know what Shannon's been doing.
Also, Mario 2.
But the two of you are close.
I don't know if we ever touched upon this, but Mario 2 is happening in the movie.
I'm just waiting for it to happen.
It has a date and everything. April 10th, 2026.
I feel like that's too soon.
Illumination likes to reuse assets from past movies a lot, so...
You know, that's actually fair. And they already showed a bunch of landscapes in the original one, so
yeah.
They probably just are working with what they got by making it so that they expand on the landscapes that they kind of zoomed past.
Yeah.
So like, especially since most of them are based off of actual Mario worlds.
Yeah. Same director, same actors, or I don't know about the actors yet, but same writer, same producers.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I had a lot of fun with the Mario movie.
As much problems as I have with it, I still think it's a good movie.
I do find it funny that it's one of the few, like, actual Mario products that are willing to hint at the whole, you know, Mario Peach feelings.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo basically refuses to allow any character to have a canonical relationship.
And that...
Like, for instance, Link and Zelda and Tears of the Kingdom have so much blatant, obvious, like, hints at there being a relationship. To the point where they sleep in the same bed, and it's the only bed in the goddamn house they live together in. But no one, like, they will never acknowledge that, yeah, these two are meant to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, on the pure basis that, like, the people in charge of Nintendo basically don't want relationships being an actual concept in their games.
Fire Emblem.
That's, like, the one game series that gets away with it, and it's because it's partially part of the mechanics.
Pearl and Marina.
Did they ever outright confirm?
No.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. Like I mentioned, they'll hint at it heavily.
Too heavily.
To the point where the only way you can interpret this is, oh, they're fucking.
Yeah, I showed Steven like a video clip of like Splatfest concert of Pearl and Marina, and he was like, okay, there's no way they're not fucking. And he was like, okay, who tops? And we were like, Pearl.
Yeah. Marina's too shy.
Yeah. Speaking of my Switch, I had to purge my micro SD card because it stopped working. And but I did back up all my photos and videos.
Like, as a point of reference to how funny the whole Zelda-Link relationship thing is, fucking, a lot of, like, it's not brought up in, like, as often in the English, but a lot of the descriptions in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are meant to be from Link's point of view. So in the Japanese version, a lot of that stuff is written from his perspective, while the English one kind of gets rid of a lot of that. But occasionally it'll still be in there.
Yeah.
But, like, for an item description, when you go into the well right next to Link's house, like, you'll find that Zelda's essentially made herself her own private study underneath their house so that she can get away from, like, things, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things you'll find there is the headband from Breath of the Wild. Like the hair tie?
Yeah.
With Link wondering, I was wondering where this went. Implying that Zelda kind of just casually stole it. And just keeps it in her private study.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, there are a bunch of characters in each franchise where you can tell the implication is, oh, they're meant to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Kind of like Luigi and Daisy. But they'll never outright confirm it in any way. I get the feeling it's because of the whole family-friendly image, or maybe it's because of the whole, like, try to keep everything as open to interpretation as possible kind of mentality. But, like, you guys drop so many hints, it's kind of like,
wait till you see...
You might as well just go ahead and say it, people.
Wait till you see Side Order.
Like, just the little clip you showed was like...
Yeah.
Okay, these two are in a relationship, and an 8 over, an octave over, it's just kind of done. You know, funny thing is, I remember someone pointed out that, like, the inspirations for their designs were, like, back in 2 were kind of, especially after Octo Expansion was kind of blatantly, obviously, Tupac and Biggie. But it's kind of funny! If you think about it.
Yeah. Alright. So
that crown reminded me of that thing because that was kind of like the biggest hit. That's definitely where their inspirations were coming from.
Yeah. So now we have 2 Nintendo movies known happening: the second Mario movie and the live-action Zelda movie.
I don't want it.
By Sony. The same people who thought Madam Web would do well.
Seriously, why couldn't it have been like fucking animated like the Mario ones?
Because
Zelda has so many fucking fantasy creatures too. Like, I get it, usually there's only like 1 or 2 members of each race that has an importance or something like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't even have any importance. But come on, people!
This is the same company that thought that Madam Web would do well.
Sony doesn't even have that much money. It's obvious by how often like their movies feel fucking cheap as hell.
Yeah. And recently, Kraven the Hunter, one of their next Sony Marvel movies, has been delayed to December. This is because Sony has complete confidence in the movie. An elite strip has revealed his new catchphrase, "I'm craving the hunt." Because they're trying to appeal to the memes.
Okay, but to be fair, that does sound some like some goofy shit that like a comic book character would say.
And also there was a new Funko video game announced, featuring characters from Jurassic Park, Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, I did see that part.
Freddy Fazbear.
Yeah.
Freddy Fazbear. And the Spider-Verse concert is coming back, but this time they'll be doing the second movie.
Well.
Yeah. Alright, I don't know what else to say. Are we done with this game?
Do you want to be done with this game today? Like, for now?
Yeah, we've done for like 75 minutes.
That has been generally the amount of time.
Alright. See you next time! You're supposed to put off the video now.